it's not like you can't. That's why I tell people all the time too. I don't just wake up every day. I'm automatically motivated. I'm positive. You gotta shake yourself in gear sometimes. It takes a little bit, but like sometimes they want somebody to kick them in the butt and be like, "Yo, like, what are you doing? Like, stop."
They need that. Yeah.
Like I do that all the time, and you would think kids would be like, you know what? Like, I'm not gonna go back to. They come right back. Just because they like that. They need that structure.
Yeah, they need really just giving them the space to vent as well, because sometimes they just need that. Yo, 100%. I'm going through X, Y, and Z. All right, cool. You gonna really listen? Are you gonna listen to reply? Or are you gonna listen to understand? I'm right there with you. All right, go ahead.
That's my biggest thing: building relationships, building connections with them, so they feel comfortable enough telling me about an issue before it even happened or before they do something dumb. Like, I feel like building relationships is something that teachers need to do, something that mentors need to do. Like.
The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said you're up and I'm up. You're now tuned in to the Grind Hard Dream Big Show. I got some special guests in the building today. Y'all go ahead and introduce yourselves to the people, man.
Hey, how y'all doing, man? Jalil Jarrett, Community Engagement Director of STAN Mentorship Program. And I'm happy to be here, man. So appreciate the invite.
For sure.
Hey, what's going on? It's Daryl Jeffries, the Program Director for STAN Mentorship Program, and I'm happy to be here.
I appreciate you, man. First off, I want to just say, like, salute to both of y'all, man, for doing the work that y'all do. You guys are greatly appreciated in the community and just being who y'all needed when y'all was younger. So about y'all upbringing, like y'all childhood, how would y'all describe that? Like, where were y'all born? Where were y'all raised at? Like, whoever want to go first.
So I started. So I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. I grew up in Baltimore a little bit with my grandma and my mom, and then me and my mom moved out to Howard County when I was younger, and I lived out there for most of my life. That's where she married my father at in Howard County, and just kind of watching them and watching my grandma like be a big part of the community kind of really impacted me and made me want to do the same thing. Like when I lived in the city with my grandma, she was more that like. That lady that had snacks for everybody or let people come in the house whenever she wanted to or, always had something for somebody. She was like the neighborhood grandma. And I kind of watched that, and that made me kind of want to give back to and help people out. And then watching my mom grind and work her way up in the school system, and then watch my pops go through so much and still kind of find a way to help out people and give back. It kind of impacted me to want to do the same thing. And I just feel like, that kind of shaped who I am today.
For sure.
I grew up, I was born in Brooklyn, New York, so that's where I originated from. Came down to Maryland, Columbia, about elementary school. My upbringing was, man, I was blessed, to say the least. I had a two-parent household. So more than anything, I will say that I know that had a positive effect on my life, because we all know missing one parent, that's a piece that, can't really be replaced by anything else. So came up in a two-parent household. It wasn't always good times. We did go from shelter to shelter when we was in New York, but once we came down to Maryland, I was blessed enough to be able to have, a steady home, sturdy. My parents did whatever they can for us. They made it happen, even though we really didn't have it to make it happen. So I didn't really understand it being young, but as I got older, it became a lot more clear, and that shaped the way I even moved about in life. Like, I was a lot more grateful for a lot more things, because I understood that not everybody has everything. So it's like the things you do get, you got to be grateful for it. So besides that, coming up in Maryland, I ended up meeting, my brother here, Daryl, his pops, that's the executive director of STAN Mentorship Program. He basically took us under his wing, and he was like our first mentor. So he showed me what it's like to do from other people without getting nothing in return, because he took us on so many trips. He just, bought us food many times, took us to do activities, and it was never anything like, oh yeah, do your parents have money? He always took care of it himself. So, I mean, that was a big inspiration for me to be able to now be in life and be like, okay, I want to help this other person just because I don't got to get nothing in return. So, I mean, yeah, definitely I would say my upbringing, it gave me a lot of gratitude, but it showed me also that, anybody could be at the bottom and cannot have what other people have.
Nah, for sure. Like I said, for me, grew up in PG County. Like I said, and for me, I understand the whole dynamic, right? Having your mom and your dad active in your life, because like I said, the statistics show obviously if one is not active, how it can definitely have a great impact in your life. So definitely family oriented. For me, community, I saw it all around me. From the church to my uncle to my mom, everybody. So just understanding now to be in a position to give back is a beautiful thing. That's what I kind of look at it as, and things like that. So what were some of the hobbies that you guys were into when you guys were like kids?
I was a gamer. I ain't gonna lie. I was a gamer and sports. That was football, basketball. I was outside 24/7. Like nowadays, we see kids are inside a lot more than before, but they had to drag us inside back when we was young. I'm talking about, what was it? The street lights. That was our indicator, like, okay, you need to hurry up and get inside.
Yeah, you gotta be in the house, right?
The street lights come on, I promise you, if I seen them on, I was like running like to get home. So
Facts.
but like I said, I was an outside kid, man. Like I like outdoor activities. That was my thing.
For sure.
Yeah, I feel like mine was pretty much the same thing, just being outside or like wanting to like do sports. Like I played football and I ran track. That was like the two main things I really focused on. And I feel like just hanging with my friends. I always wanted to be around them or be outside with them. Right. If we had some bikes, we traveling all throughout the neighborhood, trying to go as far as we can on those bikes. Just wanting to be outside and wanting to like just see what's out there with my guys that's around me, know. And then I had a bunch of little siblings too. So like it really consisted of me watching them and being with them most of the time too. So like babysitting or like taking them with me to the store if I went to the store real quick, or like going to the mall. I got them holding my little sister's hands in the mall. It was always like I'm a big brother, so anything I'm doing, they got to do with me too. So that was really like my childhood for real.
Nah, to reach one, teach one. I like that. Yeah, nah, for sure. And then like I said, that back in the day, when you outside. Sometimes you having so much fun, you forgot the lights came on. Yeah, it's like when the lights came on, it's like.
All right, I'm talking about I'll be an hour late, and you getting in trouble, but being outside was worth it.
Yeah,
like, that's
the memories.
That's what it was. The memories, man. You can't beat that. You can't.
And I think like you said there and said, like that era is just like, man, being outside when outside was outside. Like you wasn't so attached to the phone. You wasn't this, that, and the third. Like you just roam free.
That's what it was.
I'm saying.
I don't think we had our phone outside. Like
most of the time. Yeah, I don't think if I had a phone. I think I got my first phone in about sixth or seventh grade,
middle school. Yeah.
And most of the time, if I didn't even have it outside. I'm gonna be real. Like that was another reason why I used to get in trouble, because my parents couldn't reach me.
Yeah.
So that was that was that. But like you said, outside was the memories, man.
For sure. So as far as like the transition now, like as you guys grew up, what I'm saying, like high school and college and that type of thing, like what were some of the things that you guys saw like in y'all development? What I'm saying, if y'all want to talk to that.
I would say kind of when I was coming up, high school, getting into like young adulthood and everything like that, it was more for me. I was just trying to find myself, because I realized that it was a lot of different things going on. You had people doing different activities. You had the sports guys. Like we was all sports guys in high school. Like our goal was get to college, get out of college, go to the NFL, NBA, get our parents' houses. That was the vision. That was the, but for me, I noticed that I know who I was, but I didn't really know where I was headed. So I kind of like, I didn't really know I was lost a little bit until I went to the military, like after I graduated, because that showed me it was a lot about myself that I didn't know. I thought I knew everything, but I never really took that opportunity to look within and try to figure out who is Jalil. Like what do you really want out of life? And it took me until after I got out the military to do that. But once I did that, a lot of things was just more clear. So I made my decision on who I wanted myself to portray to the world. What did I want my story to say? So I mean, I would say that it just you see a lot of different things, but you gotta kind of choose what path you want to go down, basically.
For sure.
No, I agree with that. I feel like when I graduated high school, it was a lot of people like telling me what they think I'm supposed to be doing, and like, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you're supposed to go to college, and like, it was a lot of pressure because it's like you want to make people happy and you want to like live up to them expectations that they got for you, but it's like, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, if I'm going about it the right way. And I feel like, so when I graduated high school, I was blessed to be able to give the graduation speech. So, I spoke at graduation. I told everybody, yeah, when I graduate high school, I'm going to Morgan State and blah, blah, blah. I didn't get into Morgan State. I didn't know where I was going at. But I said that because I thought that's what people, like, that's what they wanted,
Got you.
So I ended up going to community college for a little bit, which was probably, like, the best decision I made because it gave me time to kind of figure out what I wanted to do and save money on top of that. And then I was able to, like, explore track some more. Like, I ran track in college, and then I was able to go to Frostburg State. That's where I ended up graduating from. I feel like throughout that whole, like, experience, I was able to learn myself, like Jaleel was saying, and kind of be alone to kind of, like, understand, okay, like, this is how I act when I'm not around the people I grew up with. This is how I act when I don't have that support that's always around me. It kind of showed me how I act when, times is rough, or if I don't have money right now, like, how am I going to figure it out? So it kind of, like, really helped me develop into, like, a man and kind of figure out where I want my path to end at, basically.
Nah, for sure. And I ain't gonna lie, like, sometimes it's hard to figure it out, right? Because I know for myself, like, I love, like, reading, writing, sports, all those things. Like, even with this, like, it's surreal to me because I envision myself being on, like, ESPN, talking about sports and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But how your purpose to come back full circle, and, like, now all of a sudden it's like, what? You helping the youth? Like, wait, what? How did that happen? But like I said, God will use you, and you just got to want to be used by Him.
Literally. And
you know what I mean? And that's how I look at it.
It's funny too because we were just having a conversation about how, like, we knew that we wanted to go out and help people, help the community, help the youth, but we didn't know how to go about it. And my pops, he was like that mentor to us. So we knew, okay, we're going to be helping out with the mentorship program, and we're going to be doing stuff because he would take us on trips. He would take us to go talk to kids in schools and stuff like that, but we didn't really understand, like, how powerful that was in the moment. We just knew, okay, this is something good. This is something that we want to do eventually, but we don't know how to go about it.
Right.
So, like, learning ourselves kind of showed us, okay, we got a knack for this. We can actually do this ourselves and, like, be good at it and impact people.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes it's like, sometimes you can, like, doubt yourself real quick.
Why?
You be like, wait, hold. He's like, come on, man.
It's too easy. It's too easy to do that because I feel like, and this goes down to, having certain people in your life as well. Like we said, like certain 2-parent households and things like that. The more people you have in your life as a young kid growing up is going to just be more beneficial for you. So to be able to have people if you don't have that person telling you, like, okay, yeah, you're meant for this, or you can do this, it's so easy to get lost in your head and just be like, you know what, one thing goes bad, you like, you know what, this is not for me. I can't do this no more. Or you just feel like I'm not good enough to do this. I know a lot of people that want to be mentors, but feel like their life is not, good enough, or it's not at a certain position for them to be a mentor. Not even knowing that's reality. Kids need to see reality.
Yeah.
Wherever you at right now in life, shouldn't stop you from trying to reach out to the next generation, because this is gonna show them this is real out here. It's not gonna always be sunshine, daisies. At the end of the day, yes, we love good times, but we know good times is not all the time.
Right.
So I mean, regardless of what, I think that's a big thing. And like I said, for me, I'm transparent. I'm authentic. I like to be that way all the time. And so a big turning point for me in my life was after I got out of the military. When I went back to New York, I ended up getting locked up. Well, I got arrested for felony possession of a weapon. It was my military weapon, but New York has no, gun laws. They have no, tolerance. No tolerance for their gun laws up there. So either way, I ended up beating the case a year and a half later because they illegally searched me. They should never have been in my car, in my trunk, anything like that. So, but that moment right there, I would say that year and a half, that's the most loss I ever felt in my life. I didn't know what was going on. I'm just like, my life is going downhill. I can't figure out what I want to do. That's when I really had to connect with, like, self. Like, that, it took me to really dig in, feel every single emotion that I had that was hiding within my body. A big thing for men, I would say, we're used to being able to hold in our feelings. We're not encouraged to express our emotions out too much. And that's a big problem because the more you hold in your emotions, the bigger of a release it will be whenever it decides to come out. And at that point, you can't decide when it comes out. That might come out on somebody you love that you just get in an argument with. Next thing you know, you lash out super bad. You can tarnish that relationship now. So for me, I had to dig in to myself, really get down to the bottom of what is making you feel this way. And it was a lot of things that I did not fully heal from. So I try to allow myself to heal. I got heavy in the gym, just distract my mind, get that stress out of my body. I started reading. I started looking at all these different job opportunities. This is when I went to become a CDL driver, a truck driver. I went to go take that test. I missed it by one question. Ended up becoming a real estate agent. That I'm like, okay, I'm a real estate agent. Like that really showed me that I can do anything past what somebody tells me. If you would have asked me in high school, I would have never told you I could do real estate. Never. I'd never seen nobody that looked like me in my neighborhood do real estate.
Right. So
I mean,
it's like, yeah, come on now.
So when it come down to it, like I said, it changed everything for me. And I really realized, like, this life is really, I can be whatever I want to do. So like he talked about, we always wanted to help, but I just never could figure out what's the path that I need to be helping. And real estate, that was my way of helping, because I'm like, I can help people like me who's not used to getting homes, try to get some homes. And I did that. But once I started coming back heavy to the community and seeing how much help was still needed just around with the kids and the youth, it was a no-brainer for me. Like, at that point, it was like, this is where I need to be at.
Facts.
So, I mean, I took that step.
Facts. And I salute that, because like I said, for me, like, I was in acting for the camera class, and shout outs to my professor, Dr. Thomas, and he was telling me, he said, man, you know what? You're going to be helping the youth. I said, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I love all these classes. He's like, watch what I tell you. So then I remember I applied for a job, and then I got the job, started working with the youth. He said, oh, what, you working with kids now? Walk in that room like God sat there and said you, because I sat there and I told you. And then when I started working, it didn't feel like work. It was purpose. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, and from that moment on, I understand that. So it's like God to sit there and have ways for you to, like, walk into the calling. You just gotta walk into it.
You gotta accept it.
You gotta accept it too. And I love what you had said earlier about do you feel like you have to be in a perfect position to be a mentor? I don't think so, right? Because it's like, like, he'll take whatever you have right now, the fact that you are willing and able, he'll take that. And then guess what? Like, that little dirt or whatever is gonna become a diamond. You just gotta believe in yourself.
That little dirt is, to you, you think it might be a little bit of dirt, but to somebody else, that little bit of dirt could be a world changer. So it's like, you never know. You gotta just be able to step out there and just, accept the calling, like you said.
For sure. So what are some of the issues that y'all feel are going on with the youth right now? Like, what are some of the things that you guys are seeing that's, like, alarming to y'all?
Well, I would say, like, so I teach 6th grade. I teach middle school at Wild Lake. And I feel like the biggest thing that I see, well, before I even get into it, shout out to my students real quick, because every time they see me on Instagram, they want me to shout them out. Shout out to Wild Lake Middle School. Shout out to all my students. Shout out to the guys in our program. Mm-hmm. All the young guys. We love y'all. But I would say the biggest thing that I see is, like, it's not a lot of people that kind of check each other. Like, I feel like it's not a lot of leaders that want to be different or, like, kind of, take a different path. Everyone wants to do the same thing. Everyone wants to kind of fit in, but it's not enough people, being different or taking a different path or trying to find new experiences. They all kind of want to follow the same lead, and there's not enough people, checking their friend when they're doing something wrong or checking their friend when they see something that they don't think they agree with, And I feel like another issue is that there's not enough people that's willing to, like, be patient. Everyone wants that instant gratification, like that quick payout, that quick turnout. I want to go out, make some money real quick so I can make it out. Like, that's cool, but it takes time. You got to actually grind and work. And, like, because of social media and because of how people see, like, okay, he got a car right now, he making money, he doing this, he doing that. They think that they supposed to have it too. They think that they supposed to have everything, like, instantly. But it's not a race, it's a marathon. Facts. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Facts. There you go.
Yeah. That's like the biggest thing I want them to, like, understand. Like, you really got to be patient and take your time through this. So
yeah, like you said, I think the comparison, what do you call it? Comparison is a thief of joy.
Yeah, comparison is a thief of joy.
And I don't think the youth really has that understanding. So it's like, when you see things, it's like, okay, I know how my life is, and I see, especially when you got people like younger and younger, starting to make more money doing different things, but it's like that's not everybody though. Yeah. You can't. Their path is not your path. So, like you said, that's a big thing because that's already like majority of the kids out here who, of course, when we young, you see things that you wanted in a store that's not yours. Of course, you wanted it. So I mean, we have that type of, but you gotta have the understanding there still. And another thing I would say, like you said, social media in general is just a big enemy to our kids out here, to the community, because anything we see so much that's pushing our face is all negative things. I'll never see too many positive things really being pushed on social media that much. You gotta really look for the ones just like us, like you, like you'll see positive coming from us. But
oh, yeah, for sure.
When it comes from what's the biggest genre in music to our community? Rap.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
Right.
So when it comes down to it, you got all these rappers that's always pushed in front of these kids' face so much, and they're becoming younger and younger, and they get $1 million or whatever the image the facade you gotta portray. They live in life, it seems like, so-called living life. They live in life, and these babies, they want that. You gotta remember, these babies, they come from households that's one-parent households. They come from households that you don't have food every night to eat. You come from households you probably don't got too many jackets or clothes, and so it's like, can we really blame them for wanting more than what they have? No, because we got adults that we want more than we have.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
So I mean, it's just the biggest thing, like I said, is they have a lot of things that are against a positive growth for them, and it's the most easily accessible.
Yeah, for sure. It's like I would say, like, why try to get even when the odds is against you, right? And I think that's the biggest thing, right? Because, like I said, they're growing up faster than we are. Critical thinking may not be there. Know what I'm saying? They're in survival mode every day, right? Trying to look for the next meal, trying to look for this or look for that. Worried about the pair of sneakers, but I think also we have a community to improve, not impress, right? So like I'm heavy on that, and I feel like, okay, even the movies that we watched, as youngins, and coming up now, we watched all the hood joints or whatever it may have been, the paid in full joints where everybody's outside getting money.
Society,
you know what I mean? Menace to Society, all those joints. You know what I'm saying? Boys in the Hood, and we see gentrification. You know what I'm saying? So all these movies, when we was watching them at first, we were like, man, you know what? That was cool. But then you rewatch it, you're like, oh, that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's what it is now when we're really seeing this in real time. We like, man, that's what it is. Because, I'd rather have the community impress. Like, we impressing the community and doing different things. We have to pour back into it, right? 100%. We have to improve it. We have to improve. Not impressed. Like, it's cool to be fly. I get that. I ain't knocking the fancy car or the Balenciagas. I ain't knocking that, right? Because that's a status quo.
Facts.
But at the same time, it's like, show another younger how to get it the right way.
Exactly.
That's all. The right way. The legit way. I ain't got to sit there and make money and look over my shoulder like, hold up, man.
Why would you want to pass that down to, a younger... You should see that younger dude as a younger you.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you had to go through this in order to get what you got, why would you want him to go do the same thing? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, that's not what a role model does. That's not what a mentor does, and that's why the lack of role models, I feel like, is another big problem in our community. We don't want this when you don't have something to look at, a figure to look at, and be like, okay, this is how I should strive to try to be like. At least, if anything, you see drug dealers all day, and trust me, I don't knock anybody trying to make some money to take care of their family, but when you doing that and you don't care about the next generation watching you, and you don't even at least try to put some actual knowledge into their brain, it's like you're not helping nobody but yourself, which is selfish. But like I said, these kids working in the high school, I have realized that these kids cannot see past a certain objective. So like when they do certain things, sometimes they don't understand why they get consequences for it. And it's like, how could you not think that consequences will come from your actions? But it's like they can't see past the action. All I can see is up to the action. And anything past that is oblivious to me. So it's like the same thing with their life. Like, all I see is up to this point. So it's like I don't know what's gonna happen in my future. Like I'm gonna do what's gonna instant gratification.
they only care
I'm gonna
about
do
right
what's
now.
gonna
What was right
help,
now?
Yeah, right
Yeah.
now. If get into the drug game, whatever, is gonna help me get Balenciagas, get me a Montclair, a little LV beanie.
Louis hat, yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, they're gonna try to do
one.
that because that's what, like I said, they can see as far as seeing past that point to be like, okay, this eventually may get me hurt or get me locked up. That's not. I'm realizing they can't do it. Like,
Yeah.
and that's critical thinking, like you're saying. Like it's not.
Yeah.
These are the things that they need help with. These are the things that these mentors, these role models, are supposed to be here to instill into their brains.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And that's why I salute y'all, because y'all are doing like weekly, daily work. You know what I mean? Daily and weekly work, which is monthly, then turns into yearly, because that's important. You know what I'm saying? To have power circles, after school, check-ins, things like that, to give them what they need. You know what I'm saying? Or opportunity. That's the biggest thing.
That's
A lot of these youngins don't even have that.
Man,
You know what I mean? I'm trapped in the hood all day, so that's all I know. I don't know nothing beyond my circle, my block.
how could
that's
you?
it.
Yeah, like
If
how
all I
could
know
you?
is my block, you know what I'm saying? How you expect me to be in an upper echelon environment and not know how to act?
Facts.
I've never been there.
Facts.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So
Facts.
I think it's important what y'all are doing, and kudos to that too, because like I said, y'all took them to Mexico. You know what I'm saying? So like that was different.
That was
You feel what I'm
beautiful,
saying?
man.
Like
Beautiful.
some of them kids probably never been.
Literally.
I
They
never
was saying
been.
that.
That was it.
You know what I'm saying?
But all like them kids, like that experience was like such a beautiful experience, not only for the kids, but even for us mentors, because it's like to be able to, for our first time being out of the country and to be able to see your joy while we're also experiencing joy at the same time. It's like, man, I didn't want to come back. I'm gonna be real. Like it was
trying to stay.
it was one of those
Had my bed
things. It was
set
like,
up,
you sure we gotta go back? But
Right.
even the kids, they didn't want to go back either. But it's like that's, like you said, the opportunity to be able to say, okay, I took a trip out of the country.
Yeah.
I left my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I seen that people are out here doing other things. Like that's big. That's so big, because even for me, going to the military, that was a big part of my life. I got to see Texas for the first time. I didn't even know what to expect in Texas, but never leaving the East Coast to be able to go and finally see Texas, like that changed a lot for my head. I'm like, yo, life is more to life out here. Whatever I see on the East Coast, I can choose to, do that, but there's also more things over here as well. So yeah, definitely, man, the opportunity is needed.
For sure.
And I feel like it's funny too, because like when we originally was going on that trip, I wasn't trying to go at first. Like it's crazy.
True.
I was sitting, I'm like, because
That's
it's during the
true.
summertime, I gotta work. I need money to like pay my bills and stuff. And it's like I don't want to miss out on that money to go on this trip and like relax. I don't have time to relax, but I feel like we so caught up on like hustle.
Man.
Get money.
He talking to me.
Like,
He talking to me. That's exactly how I be feeling like.
I'm telling you, bro.
Self-care
like,
all
I had
messed
to
up because it's
literally-
like, man, this hustle, it's hustle.
And that money always gonna be there. That's something I had to remind myself. And I forgot who told me that. It was like money's always gonna be there. You can always make money, but like them experiences, that time to yourself, that's not always gonna be there. We only got a limited time on this earth, in this world, so it's important to go out and experience stuff and meet new people, build new relationships, connect with others. Like watching some of them boys on that trip, like before they went, watching their whole demeanor, like, all bunched up, they chilling hood on. Then when they get there, they all comfortable. They on the horses, they in the water. Like even my little brother, was there with me. That was my first time like being on a big trip like that with my little brother. And
That's
like
love, man.
watching him, like it was crazy, man.
That's
It
love,
was the
man.
best experience ever.
And like I said there, and I said, like, I know I tapped in with you all, and I went, like I said, the basketball event, which was really, really dope. But like I said, I ain't never seen nothing like that, as a kid. So it was really surreal for me just to not only be a part, playing a game, but just to see something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, coming up, I ain't never seen nothing like that. Like, I ain't seen no father-son basketball game or anything like that on a grander scale. And then it's like, oh, yeah, guess what? If you don't want to play basketball, we got haircuts over here. We got all this. It's like, bro, like, man, this is powerful.
Right.
And it's nothing but opportunity because you don't know who's in need. But y'all are sitting there, so, like I said, it's a blind in need, and you ain't even really tripping.
Right.
But that's how it's supposed to be. That's the neighborhood taking care of the neighborhood and making sure the neighbors is good. That's how I look at it.
Exactly.
Know what I mean? So that was dope, man. And like I said, from that moment on, I was like, yeah, it's more than Maryland just than your block and where you at. You know what I mean?
Like
So,
you said, I think, and just the last thing I'll say about this is just that was a big point you mentioned. Like we are literal testaments to say like we did not see these things growing up, so we understand, what can happen. Not seeing certain things around you, like community stuff. If kids were able to see that a lot more, like if that was in their face so much, then of course they're gonna end up. I guarantee you, way more kids are gonna end up starting to help the community if they see it around them so much that to the point where it's like, okay, this is what we're about. I gotta, play a hand in it eventually. Just like the fact they feel like they gotta play a hand in this street, this gangster stuff, because that's what they see all the time. So eventually you're gonna get to a point. It's like, you know what, this is the way it gotta be. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into it.
Yeah.
Can I add something to that too?
Yeah,
so
go ahead, man.
We took some kids to Philly recently too to go to a 76ers game and to see the Rocky statue and just get out again, experience other stuff, get out the community. And the day after the Philly trip, we had a toy giveaway like for Christmas or whatever. And one of the kids that was on the trip, because we got back real late, so like I know he was tired, got back late, then he had practice the next morning. Yeah. He still showed up to the toy giveaway after practice, after going on the trip, probably didn't get that much sleep, still showed up the next day to help us like clean up and like help out and stuff. And it's like we see that, okay, it's impacting them already. Like they already want to come back and help out and be that person in the community that we are to them. Like I'm talking about like Taven. Yeah,
of course.
Like watching our man's Taven come after practice after getting no sleep.
Yeah, shout out Taven, man. Shout out Taven.
Shout out to the young king, man. That's all right.
It was amazing to see that. I'm like, that's what's up. I didn't expect him to come because
but
when I was younger, I'm tired. I'm trying to go home.
Like,
I didn't have practice and I didn't get no sleep. But like that was major.
Yeah, and I think it's something that you guys embedded in him though. Right,
yeah.
Because I look at it like, okay, you gave him an opportunity. You literally walked with him, you know what I'm saying, throughout the process. And I think that, like I'm going to just sit there and say, I don't care if anybody get mad at me. Mentoring is a full-time job. You know what I mean? It's a full-time job. It's a full-time job. And people have to understand that. So for you guys to create these experiences for the kids and literally be with them every step of the way, that's what they're going to remember. So that's why they're going to come back. Yeah. Because they knew what it was. You know what I'm saying? The youth, to me, they're going to always remember how you make them feel.
Every time.
Always. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be on point 100% of the time. You know what I'm saying? Even when you ain't at 100. Literally. And there's certain days I ain't at 100, but guess what? I know I got to be at 100. Like I got to be.
Man, nobody's perfect. So it's not like you can't. That's why I tell people all the time, too. I don't just wake up every day. I'm automatically motivated. I'm positive. You got to shake yourself in gear sometimes. It takes a little bit, but that's the beautiful thing about it, because you're strong enough to be able to be like, nah, I don't care if I'm feeling down today. I'm going to go out there with a smile on these kids and make sure that their day is good. Like that's powerful right there. Yeah. That's what makes mentors so powerful. Just like you said, it's a full-time. If you're not a real mentor, then you wouldn't really understand. That's because we all know as a mentor, my phone doesn't go off for these kids. Like I got calls at 12 in the morning sometimes from some of these kids. Because of the fact they need somebody to talk to. Or something just happened outside. Like, I just wanted to let you know I'm good. Like, that's what being a mentor is. Yeah. Like, you're a part of these kids' lives. You're not just, and this is not the, say like anything about teaching anything, but teachers, you're in school. And then after you go home, most of the time you don't see the kid or hear from the kid. When you really a mentor, like when you hold that title, you are part of that kid's life now. Like, that kid is your family, basically. Yeah. And that's how we look at all of our mentees. All of our mentees are literal brothers to us. Like that's how it is, because they gotta understand that no matter how bad things get or where in life we get to, I'm gonna be here for you. I need you to understand that you can rely on me if you feel like you can't rely on nobody else. And that's what makes this mentorship so powerful, like I said, because that's a force that's a loving, healing force right there. A lot of these kids feel like they don't have nobody. Right. That's the big reason why they act the way they act a lot of times. Like, sometimes they want somebody to kick them in the butt and be like, yo, like, what are you doing? Like, stop.
They need that, yeah.
Like, I do that all the time, and you would think kids would be like, you know what, like, I'm not going to go back to, they come right back. Yeah. Because they like that. They need that structure.
Yeah, they need structure. Of course. You need that structure. You need that discipline. I'm a fan of tough love. I remember how it was for me. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like I understand the whole notion of coddling and, like, the empathy and everything like that. And I believe that that's important. I believe that the connectiveness is important and building the relationship is important. But yeah, they got to know, like, bro, this my line. Don't
Yeah,
cross
right,
that joint.
right,
Know what I mean?
Facts,
It was tough because my pops, who was our mentor, like he was tough on us, like, and then him being my pops, like, I'm like, bro, like he was harder on me than everybody else.
For
Like,
sure.
So he
Yeah.
coached our little basketball team that we had, and it's like, all right, I did not want him to do that. I'm like, Dad, I'm with you every day. I don't want you to be around while I'm with my friends too. But it's like him being tough on us, him keeping us out of trouble. We get it now since we adults. Like we
100%.
understand why he was the way he was,
Right.
and why he was tough on us, and why he told us not to go over here and not to hang with those people, and why to move like this. And now, like, we do the same thing for our young guys. We tell them, like, okay, like, we're going to be tough on you, but it's because we care. And we done had our fair share of kids that got mad during our sessions and walked out. I'm not coming back, They back the next day because they understand, like, okay, like they might apologize to us, like, look, I didn't mean to get that mad. I just was frustrated. I never had nobody talk to me like that before. But it's like, it's because we care. Like, that tough love is important. I feel like it's not enough of it nowadays. And it's good to have that balance, like you said. Like, you create that boundary, and you're able to have tough love, but you also know when tough love isn't needed. You know? It's a give and take.
Yeah, for sure. And I believe that you guys do a great job of that because, like I said, you guys are in tune. You know what I'm saying? And really just giving them a space to vent as well because sometimes they just need that. Yo,
100%.
I'm going through X, Y, and Z. All right, cool. You going to really listen? Are you going to listen to reply or are you going to listen to understand? I'm right there with you. All right, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? My mic off. Go ahead. You go ahead. You talk. You know what I'm saying? Say that.
We all know as a kid, you know, you can talk. Some people can talk to their parents better than others. So it's like sometimes kids feel like they can't. You go to your parent, you're going to just get yelled at. They're not going to understand. They're going to try to turn it around on you, whatever the case is. And I get that because at certain points being young, you know, it happened to me. So it's like, but once again, that's just our understanding of it. As a youngin', your adolescent's mind is not, you can't comprehend what they're trying to, you know, say, but also they got to understand too, I got to approach you a certain way when you bring your problems to me because this is now something to do with your emotions. This is something that can affect you, that like is real, mental. Like, people got to understand raising a kid, like you're raising a human being to be put out into this world and, you know, to give out to the world whatever they have within. So you got to make sure that they can give the best of they self to the world. So, I mean, my biggest thing, you know, I love tough love. That's my main thing. But you got to be able to peep and understand, like, okay, this kid right now, I need to show them that, you know, it's just real love right now. Like, even besides the tough part, like, it's real love. So, I mean, just genuineness. They can spot that a mile away. They can sniff that out.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
they can smell it a mile away.
That's why some people can't connect as well as others. You know.
Facts, for sure.
Yeah, that's why when I first started teaching, like, this is my first year like teaching ever. Like, I mean, I subbed before and like we worked with kids our whole life, but like actually having my own classroom and teaching was a whole different experience because I felt like, you know, it's a certain way you got to go about it, and like I don't even know like who I am as a teacher yet. I'm still trying to figure that out. And like everyone told me, yeah, you got to start off strict and like let them know you're not playing. But I'm like, bro, that's not me. Like, that's not who I am. I want to build these relationships first, so they know that I'm here. I'm somebody they can go to. They somebody they can trust. And now I can be tough on them because I already got that relationship. I feel like that's my biggest thing, like building relationships, building connections with them so they feel comfortable enough telling me about an issue before it even happened or before they do something dumb. Like, I feel like building relationships is something that teachers need to do, something that mentors need to do. Like, that's the biggest thing when it comes to reaching the kids is relationship building.
Facts. Nah, I agree. Like I said, and you're doing a good job, and that's the mindset first, the relationship. Because once you build a relationship with a kid, you understand that you got everything else. Because like I said, they're gonna work for you. They're gonna grind. Absolutely. They're gonna do everything. They become the mouthpiece. Yeah. And that's a vital mouthpiece too. Because then they start talking, and you ain't gotta really do nothing because the work is gonna speak for itself. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, with all the work that y'all do, what does the self-care look like, though? You know what I mean? Because it's hard, dog. I ain't going to lie. I'm still trying to figure it out myself.
And it's crazy, man, because that's a tough one. That's it. Out of all the questions, I feel like that's probably the toughest one. Because it's like, I mean, like you said, at certain points, we get to a point where it's like, man, like, self-care is not even existent to us, you know?
Yeah.
Right, for sure.
But you also got to remind yourself that you have to. Because if you don't take care of yourself, then you're not giving your best to the youth.
Facts.
And if you're not bringing your best to the youth, you're not doing the good you think you're doing.
Right.
So it's like, my biggest thing is, since I made the conscious decision that this is my purpose, this is where I'm supposed to be at, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, I put that priority over a lot of other things. But I cut out a lot of other things that is not necessary, so I can get that time back. Because at the end of the day, we all got things that we like to do. We go out, we go, whatever the activities is. But like I said, you got to choose your time wisely. We got 24 hours in a day.
Facts.
So you can't complain about I don't got enough time to do this. Yeah. But we have points in our day where we either waste time or we use it for something that's not really necessary for our life. That's not beneficial.
Facts.
So it's like you gotta pick. You gotta choose what is important in your life, and you gotta build around that. But also that self-care has to be that's non-negotiable.
Facts.
Because like I said, you can't come to these kids 50%. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, you're not gonna, like I said, you're not gonna wake up at 100% every time. But when you go to these kids, you have to show them that. Like, they have to be able to see, like, even though I didn't wake up feeling good today, I'm not gonna bring that onto y'all. I'm gonna give y'all my best still. If I want to go home and be 50%, then cool. But these few hours y'all got me near y'all, my energy is gonna show nothing but 100%.
Facts.
That's it. So
I like that.
Yeah, man, look, I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm
like,
right there with you.
I'm telling you, like, it's funny because, like he was saying, like, it's trying to find that balance and also not wanting to give them less than 100%. Like, you always want to show up and get them 100%. And even on days where you're not there, you still thinking like, dang, like, I wonder who was looking for me today or who wanted me or needed me to be there and I wasn't there. So you feel that pressure of, like, I got to always show up. But then you got to know how to put yourself first. And I feel like I'm still kind of navigating that and learning that and knowing when to say no. I feel like,
that's a big one. That's that one right there. That part. That's hard.
Bro, learning when to say no is something I'm still working on today. I got better at it, but like just saying no when you know you don't got enough time or you know you can't give your all to that thing at the moment. So I was like, I'm gonna say no right now, but maybe in the future when my schedule opens up, I could do it. Or I'm gonna say no right now because I got to put me first. Like sometimes, today I had papers I needed to grade. I ain't grade them papers. I hopped on the game and relaxed a little bit because I needed that.
You just need you time for yourself. Yeah, I get you.
So knowing when to say no or to give yourself a little extra time for leisure, right? Like that's the biggest self-care thing that I could probably say I do for myself.
Yeah, for sure. I know me, it'll be like working out or just like chilling, decompress, no phone. No, I'm socially unavailable right now. Like I don't know what it is, but I'm just socially unavailable right now.
Say that word one more time.
Socially unavailable. Like literally, like I think a lot of people have to understand that. Like I got this call, this email, this text. I'm socially unavailable right now. I will get back to you at my earliest convenience. That's it. Know what I mean?
It's no bad blood, no bad feelings towards anything. It's just that's how you gotta run your life.
Yes.
This is my life, so I have to run it in a way. If I'm gonna do certain things, I have to adjust it so I'm mentally sane and I'm at peace still and happy.
Facts.
Because if I'm doing this stuff unhappy, then once again, that's gonna affect onto everything else. So that's socially
everybody don't get that either.
Socially unavailable, bro.
I'll be trying to explain it in the most because I'm gonna be real, I've been realized how much attention your phone takes from you, your energy, everything like that.
Sure.
So I started trying to be on it less. So even text messages and things, I told people sometimes if it's not business or something like that, I will get back to you, but it's I have to make sure that you
in the right state of mind.
Exactly.
Your earliest convenience. That's why I sit there and say you got to understand it, man. At the end of the day,
it's all love, but it's just this is how I got to take care of me.
Facts.
So some people don't get that. Some people might take it as a shot. Oh, you don't got time for me. You don't but it's if you really care about me, you understand. I need this time for myself.
A winner gonna help you win.
Yeah,
that's what it is, and I understand the situation right now. All right, bet you ain't respond. It's all good. I ain't gonna sit there and look at you weird because guess what? At the end of the day, you winning and my winner's on the way. That's how I look at it, bro. Come on, bro.
That's it.
For sure, man. So like I said, man, what's the motivation that you'll give to the youth? Right now, what would you tell them? I mean, I know, y'all are frontline every single day. What would you tell them? If they felt lost, confused, they try to figure it out. I know we still trying to figure it out. So
definitely.
what would we sit there and tell them, man?
I would say, first, just be open to help, because I know a lot of times that these kids, they got trust issues, and it's not that say that your trust issues are, you're wrong to have them. It's just the simple fact that when you can peep that somebody is trying and trying and trying, just, allow them to help you, because you never know how far that can take you or how much help that can, help you out in your life. And my biggest thing is I've seen lives be changed from people who, like was so like just I don't need nothing from you, like that's a hand up, I'm good, like back up, and then they actually allowed them to help them, and their life just skyrockets. So it's like I think just be open to the genuine people in your life that's actually trying to make a difference, trying to make a change, that's trying to motivate you. But once again, we all know that consistency is the way to know. A real mentor, like we talking about what it takes to even be a mentor, the patience. A real mentor has patience. They even if you shoot them off one day, they're gonna be back, trying to just connect in some way, some shape. So I mean, if somebody's being patient with you, allow them to, be helpful to your life.
Facts.
Yeah, no, absolutely, bro. I feel like my message to the youth would probably be like, don't be afraid to fail. I feel like you gonna fail. Like that's a part of life. Like a part of winning is failing. Like you have to mess up. You have to have your times where it's like, dang, I know I didn't do that the right way, and I know I got a bad grade or whatever you may have done where you feel like you didn't do your best. It's never too late to fix it, right? Like you can always start over. That's what I believe. I feel like never feel like something can't be undone. You can always start over. You can always reevaluate yourself. You can always take a step back and be like, all right, let me figure out what I want to do. Let me get my plan. Let me get my thoughts together. Like you can always reflect and grow. And I feel like failure is a part of growth. You can't grow without failing.
Come on, man.
So
Failure.
you gotta.
I told people I look forward to failure.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie, because at the end of the day, if I failed at something, that's cool. That didn't work. What's next? So like it's failure, and it gives you. It should give you that drive. That's all it is. Like at the end of the day, like failure is great. Like
Literally,
we said,
bro.
man.
You need it. Like you need it.
And without failure, how will we know what success really looks and feels like? Like
Facts.
if you can't feel that hurt from not getting this or not completing something, then when you get that joy is not gonna be as great when you actually succeed at what you're trying to succeed at.
Facts.
So I mean that's a big thing. And even like you said, like for me personally too, don't be afraid to walk your own path, man. Like
that part.
It's at the end of the day, society is going to make it seem like you have to all follow the herd, or that black sheep, man. That black sheep, that's the real special one. That's the powerful one.
Shout out to Saquon.
Yes, we definitely.
Yeah,
shout out Saquon and
shout
push
out
program.
shout out
Because that definitely is. These are the little lessons that little talks that we try to have with these kids every now and then. But when you actually learn that walking your own path is the best thing for your life, but you have to go through it in order to know it. So we were able to do that. And this is why we try to speak back to the youth so much, because y'all haven't been through it. We get it. So you can't see. Once again, like I said, they can't see past what's in front of them.
Right.
That's it. You don't have you have surface vision. That's it. Anything past that, you can't see. So I get it. But this is why we here. We here to remind. We here to hit that knocking in your head, enough times.
Yeah.
It's in there. It's like screwed in to the point. So I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Be that guy, bro. Like, that's the thing. We all in the car together. You feel me? I'm in the passenger seat. I let them drive, but we giving them directions and stuff.
It's crazy you said that, because my advice to the youth was gonna be like, if success was a car, buckle your seatbelt, put the joint in drive, stay the course, and don't crash out.
Bingo.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Literally, bro. That's crazy,
I like that
man.
too, because
literally, man, they want
as long
to.
as you keep just keep going.
Yeah.
Like just keep driving,
Yeah,
bro.
literally.
Like you said, the main thing you need to focus on is not crashing, and that if you do that, you good.
That's what the seatbelt for too.
That's what the seatbelt. Yeah, the protection part. That's why I sat there and said that. Like that's the biggest thing, and that's what I think. Like a lot of people gotta understand that, man. Yeah, that's what a lot of people have to understand, man. So this conversation, man, this was therapeutic, bro.
Man,
know what I'm saying? I salute y'all. I'm rooting for y'all. Any way I can support, any way I can help, I got y'all, bro.
Right. And you're saying likewise, bro.
Yeah,
At the end of
man.
the day, like you said, these connections are needed. This networking is needed, because all of us together can make that big change that we looking for. We doing our work in our separate pockets, but at the end of the day, it's all the same work. We got the same goal.
Right.
So why not work together?
Facts.
So that's exactly. And I mean, if I don't want to, I just want to kind of mention something about one thing about the youth as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Add on real
For
quick.
sure.
'Cause I know a lot of people out there, they probably wonder, like, what can we do? How do y'all, actually connect with them? How do y'all? I would say, man, the biggest thing with connecting with the kids nowadays is just show them that you don't judge them. You're not judging them. Show them that you respect them for who they are. Because once again, like we said earlier, These kids are evolved way faster than we did at this age. Society has gave them a whole bunch of information, but they have no direction with the information. So now, yes, you have all this in your head, but you don't know what to do with it. You just sitting there, just doing whatever, because it's like, all right, let me just grab this, like a baby. You know, you don't know what to do. So I mean, I learned that respecting them for just who they are, and then trying to, you know, help them out after that is a lot more beneficial than coming in on judgment time, because we all know as kids, you know what you're taught. Kids are sponges. So this come down to parents. This come down to any other role models that's in around their life as they're growing up. But we can't blame them. It's not their fault for being the way they are. I don't care what nobody says, man. Like, yes, certain decisions you have a choice in making. But let's get back to the root once again. Why did they even make these decisions?
Mm-hmm.
What caused them to feel like this was the right thing to do? So, I mean, once again, we in this together, bro. Like, that's my biggest thing. I just want everybody to understand, like, if your kid is, you feel like you can't connect to them, you can't get through to them, just love them for who they are. Don't ever stop doing that. That's the one thing that you can't go wrong with. Continue to show love, because eventually that love is going to break that barrier that people look so bad to break.
Facts.
So I mean, I just want to, you know, just
Nah, that's good. That's good. I felt that. I felt
Yeah,
that for sure.
I respect all my young guys. Like, the biggest thing, people try to say, yeah, you gotta respect your elders, or you gotta stay in a child's place, but it's like nowadays, the kids want that, like, they crave that respect. So it's like, I'm gonna always give them respect, because respect is a two-way street. I don't expect them to respect me if I don't respect them back.
Facts.
So it's like, I'm gonna always respect all the young guys, all my students, all my mentees, so that way they know that they're appreciated and they're heard and they're seen, and that way they can respect me back.
Facts, man. Well, this was love, y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Like I said, man, if you're looking for people that, you know, are passionate about the youth and you just want to connect, know what I'm saying, y'all can hit us up, know what I'm saying? And we give y'all the advice, because at the end of the day, you know, we front line with it, and we hope that y'all front line too. I think sometimes it's just more so pouring into the community, and community starts with you and me, and that's how unity starts, you know what I mean? You feel me? So I appreciate y'all so much, man. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream.
The harder you grind, the bigger you dream.
The harder you grind, the bigger you dream.
I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream, and we out.